Liquid's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Two teams that have had mixed results over the last 6 months. We have seen them do amazing, and we have seen them do not so amazing. And we're finding out which one of these two teams is going to move forward here, as we are in an elimination match here for ESL 1 Germany 2020, and it is Viking versus Team Liquid. And I'm here with Cinnamon and Kyle, and we are in the draft already.
Can I just say quickly, did you notice the shot from their training facility? I love the look of that. It's super slick, first of all. It looks like a space shuttle.
Dude, that whole facility, like, I've been there.
Looks really nice.
Looks
nice.
That makes me want to be a player. And I've never wanted to be a professional Dota player.
You just want to be in that facility.
Yes, that is actually, like, seriously, they have 2 private chefs. You can ask anything you want. And there's also just buffets. And if they don't have what you want per se, they'll get it the next day. They have a room that is just for chilling with Guitar Hero and band, whatever it is.
Shining. Right.
And they have so much cool stuff. It's really cool.
Shit.
Really cool. No, I'm not kidding. I've not seen. Maybe I've just not been in training facilities before, but that was really cool to be there.
Yeah, it brings me back to my time. You know, qualifying to TI5, living in a team house all together, sharing a room with both Ziz and Beef.
Did I mention that they have all their own apartments? They have their own apartments provided to them. Also, they're in the center of the lovely Dutch city of Utrecht.
Yeah, we were in Baltimore.
Really cool.
You can pronounce it the Dutch way.
Utrecht.
There you go. Utrecht.
Team Liquid's turn.
Utrecht. Oh,
the draft.
The Willow.
Wow, first pick.
Tiger Willow.
First pick for them, not the overall first pick of the draft. Interesting.
Somebody tweeted Rich. This is the only way we'll lure him back into Dota. Liquid must miss him. As they once again go for the patented Willow Slardar. They used this, I think, 6 or 7 months ago. This was one of their standard openers. I'm glad they bring it back. And it's interesting because it's almost... they gave away like kind of exactly what Viking want. I cannot believe they didn't ban the Wisp, and instead they take out the Lina. So targeting Boronina's limited hero pool, but yet giving Viking their favorite strategy.
What?
Viking have Wisp.
Yeah, why did you mention Borneo?
Team back.
Because he's not on Viking. Boom.
Liquid's
Boom.
turn to
Boom.
ban.
Play the Lina. Boom.
Yeah, I mean,
to help me.
Yeah, I mean,
we tried just
sometimes you just can't be helped, man. No, so I mean, I kind of agree. We've seen IO be quite a force already, but you should keep in mind Viking had it in game 1 yesterday against Navi, and they lost that game in a pretty one-sided fashion, I want to say, after the first 15 minutes. Yeah. So maybe Liquid are like, okay, you know what? They could beat it. We can do it too. We'll take the trade-off. Usually, however, when you give away a hero like IO, it's like you get another tier 1 pick as the trade-off. Like you open up
Dark Willow.
You open up the box and you're like, you get this, we take this. Like if you have IO, you take Chen or something. Dark Willow is not really an IO counter.
Maybe that's just an oversight from Viking. You know, not recognizing the strength of the Dark Willow.
I promised you guys better jokes. It's not going to happen today. We'll try again tomorrow.
What if Shiver's sense of humor is just bad?
There's also definitely a chance of that. I know that Owen criticizes me on my sense of humor often.
I don't want to get into it, but there's definitely some memes to be made about both the Dutch and German sense of humor. I think there's inside stuff from ESL.
There's no German here.
What do you mean?
I mean on the panel.
We're in Cologne.
Yes, in the panel. We are...
Panel is also in Cologne.
Yeah, we're an autocracy. We're our own separate island. We're sovereign.
But nobody feels insulted on the panel if you insult German humor.
Hey!
Jesus.
Apparently allowed into the room, Kyle.
Much better.
Let's focus on the draft. We have a Drow also banned.
It's the second ban phase, though. You can kind of coast through.
Yeah, I still want to mention the Bloodseeker just because it was one of the things I noticed going into this like going into this top 6, if you will, that in all of the first games of the playoffs, while we had 8 teams, there was literally only one team in this tournament playing Bloodseeker, and that was Viking. And they won both of those games. And since then, it's just been banned against them every game, and no other team cares about it. It's been banned. Actually, in all fairness, I think Bloodseeker has had a couple of bans the last few days, but it's consistently against this team every game. So
Yep. It's just so
hero against Slardar.
It's a really good hero. I think that something I have at some point I probably should just talk about it and like really give the numbers. But damage manipulation is the key to winning games of Dota, and it has been since OG and that Wisp Spectre 1 TI. Same with the Wisp Bristle, whether it's amplification or stacking reduction. And Bloodseeker gives you insane wave clear, pure damage, BKB piercing damage, and then you buff up anybody you want. It's just kind of bust.
And I think it's actually, it took the pro scene quite a while. It was a bit overlooked for a while how Veil got changed.
Yeah.
Like that it went from negative magic resistance to just spell amp for every spell that people cast on the hero. It means that Bloodseeker building this item suddenly does a lot more damage, gets that insane wave clear ability where in the past Veil had 0 synergy with Blood Right because it was pure damage.
Yep.
So it's definitely helped out a lot in some builds, and there was this phase, I want to say about a month ago, where almost every game had a Veil. It's kind of fallen a little bit more out of favor again, but it still seems like a solid pickup in a lot of streams.
I will once again reiterate the Broodmother is a potential threat Viking have to keep in mind. And
Especially now.
Yeah. I really like what
good.
Liquid has done in that they have an Oracle against a Lifestealer, 2 methods of cleanse against an Open Wounds threat. This is what Always Want to Fly warned us about, the Wisp Undying combination. He's like, these heroes are broken, you can't give them up. Liquid just don't give a damn, and that is a Spectre.
Yes, just to
Definitely
make
a
sure,
Spectre.
Definitely a Spectre.
Yes.
Not
Not really.
really funny if that was a Shadow Fiend, but
It's not a great pick against Lifestealer though. You just sort of get eaten alive. Late game, you can go toe to toe, but otherwise, it's a troubling matchup, especially with so much sustain and healing amplification behind him.
this was insta pick though.
Yeah, there's a couple of things.
Into Undying though.
Right, but we have this thing with like talking glass half full versus glass half empty, right? Like the half empty look at this is what's that?
It's the same thing.
No, it's
not.
You know the saying, right? Whether you see a glass is half full or half empty.
There's the same amount of liquid in the glass.
God, okay, never mind, Shiva. You know what? You're right. This guy, these jokes are okay. So my point is, yes, you can look at the negatives here, which is Spectre against Undying. We talked about Tombstone being great against the Spectre. Spectre is good against IO though. It's a guaranteed way of getting in on top of the IO wherever the location of the fight is. You can maybe prevent the relocate. And I think any inherent bad Spectre matchup against another core can really be offset when you have Corrosive Haze.
Sure.
Like Spectre eventually gets Manta that counters the Open Wounds as well. Spectre can kind of man-fight Lifestealer actually with the right items. Skadi helps out a lot. You reduce his regeneration. You reduce the regeneration coming out from IO. You reduce the regeneration coming out from Undying. So any sort of healing reduction, heroes that buy Skadi are very attractive in this game. So I don't mind it actually. I think it's okay.
It just sounds like a lot of grasping at straws. It's basically, yeah, it's really bad, Sheaves, but if this, and this all happen, it could be good.
You know what's
I
also
don't think
pretty
those are
bad?
that big ifs though. Slardar will get Corrosive Haze.
Sure.
Haunt will be pressed.
But
Eventually.
You can jump on the IO. The one thing that is a bit of a maybe is when do you get Skadi?
Yes.
I'm with you on that.
Like, you're talking about Scotty.
If the game goes bad, if the lane goes bad, sure. But I mean, how many games have we seen Spectre in so far? I feel like it gets Manta Skadi every game.
I agree.
If it wants to. Go that.
He's going up against Undying and Underlord.
Underlord is definitely a good solution here as well. That's a fair point. Like they didn't know the matchup in the lane yet.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm not a huge fan. However, to your point, I think that they're saving this gotcha pick last, and I have to imagine with Koifa's hero pool, they ban the Brood.
Good.
Nice job, Viking. That is 100%. I think that I would agree with you. Suddenly, Spectre makes total sense because the map control that this draft can output is suddenly unstoppable. You'll have a Brood just destroying enemy jungle, and then there's always the threat of a connection. But without the Brood as a possibility, now we see the Storm. I think that's a great block pick too. We know the Koifa Storm is legend. In addition, it's great here. You're going to jump on top of the Willow and the Oracle. They snap pick the DP. I don't know, man. I mean, the Oracle Death Prophet's an incredible combination, and it's also great synergy with the Slardar. This is tough for me.
Against Storm. I think Storm has to buy Euls this game. Maybe not as his first item, or he has to go Orchid BKB. He can't go like Orchid Bloodstone. think if you're playing into any Yule plus DP Silence, you're in trouble in this game. You're going to die in 2 seconds to Corrosive.
I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. The Yules can get purged off by the Oracle. In addition, yeah, you could defensive Yules, but it doesn't help you if there's an offensive Yules waiting.
Do you think you should go Bloodstone BKB or Orchid BKB?
I think Orchid or Bloodstone BKB. Get the BKB, fight with that.
We're going to let the players get the answers to that, but I am very curious to hear who do you think won the draft? You guys are seeming a little bit flippy-floppy.
You know, I'm going to go with my boy who always want to fly. He says Wisp, Undying, Broken Heroes. I say Viking then. Going to take this game. They beat Secret with them. Come on.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. I don't have a clear favorite in the draft, which makes me still favor Liquid just, based on what I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this has many possible outcomes.
All right.
For how we get to the end.
That's exactly what Oracle likes, but he has seen them all. And we're going to see one of those outcomes right now with ODPixel and Fogged.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of Liquid versus Viking. And, well, first thing that is jumping out to me, it is that support pairing, right? We've seen it have quite some success. They've managed to get their hands on it, Viking, the Undying IO.
Yeah, they picked themselves a pretty damn strong of a team here. A lot of strength heroes, though. 4 strength heroes, and I think that's why they snap-picked this Death Prophet. Spirit Siphon looking extremely valued this game, and they also have the Oracle backing it up, too.
For battle.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's see how sort of well they can build around this DP and become this pushing force. I mean, I imagine when you look at Liquid's heroes, they have got a lineup that's going to be able to fight pretty solidly as the 4 whilst the Spectre gets the space, right? These 4 heroes can get a lot done around the map.
Yeah, and they're very aggressive heroes. You know, the Willow and the Slardar, these 2 heroes are extremely aggressive, in my opinion. They literally are 2 of the heroes that actually just breathe that as a 3-4. They're always just looking for these aggressive plays. They don't like to sit back and farm really on these 2. Yeah, it definitely looks like Liquid has a pretty strong draft, I feel, versus Viking, but we're going to see if they can beat this IO Undying, as we saw it just be absolutely monstrous. I like this Death Prophet setup, though. I know the panel sounded a little bit iffy on it, but I don't see a lot of stuns for Death Prophet to really deal with. I see a Vortex and Open Wounds and then Pit are the really 3 big things that Koikfa has to deal with. I feel like he can deal with them very easy with an Oracle behind him. And when Death Prophet is a hero that's able to just run around inside of fights, not be controlled, this hero goes crazy. Exorcism's able to do its maximum amount of damage than if you're just running around inside of the fights. And there's also Corrosive. You know, that Corrosive, it buffs up the damage of the Exorcism too.
Yeah, no, so I think some solid stuff from both teams here. As we'll see who's able to
The battle begins.
sort of really pick it up. I mean, Viking especially. Of course, we did see the other day just a bit of a disappointing showing from them yesterday against Na'Vi, where they just really didn't get much done at all in both games. They were falling behind straight from the laning stage.
If I'm not mistaken, I actually have to bring up the heroes they played, but they did beat Storm, the IO, and the Lexiler, if I'm not mistaken, in the draft, right? Yeah, that's right.
I think they did.
Actually, no, they didn't have. I don't think they had all of them. They had Storm and IO.
Yeah.
They had Storm, IO, and Spectre.
Yeah.
Okay. So at least with this game, I can see the difference is they at least have this like Storm and the Infest always, so they can always go for those targets and pop people, but they don't have someone else to give all this vision in the fights. I guess that's where it's going to be Aramis and the Tombstone. It's going to drop Tombstone for vision for them to get these initiations, but Liquid with Spectre, you usually can win a lot of those initiations.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these lane setups, have we got any sort of strong lanes here from one of the sides over another?
I like the lane setup actually quite a bit from Viking bottom. Into a Spectre, I feel like Mick is going to struggle down here. The base damage from the Underlord starts kicking in. I like the Undying too, to slow them down and put pressure on. I feel like this is a pretty strong lane from Viking. While top, I feel like Liquid, they also have a very strong lane on there too. The Willow and that Slardar playing into a melee and a very low armor hero of the IO.
Yeah, Celery definitely going to be have to be careful. I mean, he's been doing a good job of juking around Brambles so far. Certainly got to keep it up once they hit that level 2 Liquid.
They're going to get aggro onto Celery. He's got to be careful.
He's into the brown ball, and Celery, he's going to go down. And actually, the Shadow Realm, he hits 2, so he's going to be able to salve up through the Shadow Realm. Tiger's going to live. Hitting level 2 off the kill in the wave just in time. First blood, and back up to full HP for Tiger.
He's also going to get the stack. He does not get the stack off. But yeah, immediately putting that pressure onto the Lifestealer. It feels like that's going to continue. It feels like they can apply a little bit more pressure and pose a little bit more kill threat in that top lane than bottom. You know, Viking, Toby, they'll be able to slow down Mika's farm just with last hits, but they can't ever really pose a kill threat onto the Spectre. So I feel like Liquid on this front, so I'm liking their lane setup just a little bit more across the board. Because mid lane also, Death Prophet going to be able to beat that Storm. So it feels like they're going to have 2 winning matchups at least. And Mika, he should be able to farm down here.
Yeah, Quaker's... he's going to be able to get the 6 at a very good time. He's not being slowed down at all by Boom in lane. So there is going to be that real force early on that Liquid can gather around the DP and take objectives with. Yeah.
I'm seeing this is an interesting approach here by Mika. I'm wondering why. He's got the 5 mangoes in his items.
Whoa!
For the I guess for the HP region. I guess because he's getting decayed by undying, so this HP region is just so much more value when it's just off. I'm not sure. That's the only thing that I can think of.
But we see carries by like Ring of Regens, right?
This is similar.
Yeah, it's a lot of mangoes. We'll see how quickly he gets through them all, and if he does use them to go heavy on the harass.
I think it's a little bit of both, right? That little bit of innate regen and then spamming mangoes for last hits because he knows he's going to struggle versus the Underlord aura, so then he can at least secure range creeps like this with mangoes. I think that's got to be it.
On top, Celery, they're able to catch him during the tether. It's another kill for Liquid on this top lane. Just tripping up Celery a few times now. He has to be very careful, both Boxy and Tiger. Ways to really mess with the IO trying to tether back to safety.
Yeah, this is a very tough lane for the IO to really show face in it all. Shad, he's still getting decent farm, but I feel like Liquid is actually the best team at utilizing these 2 heroes together. I love Boxy on the Slardar. It's one of his best heroes. And then Taiga's Willow has been super dominant whenever they've played it.
We'll see in the mid, Celery.
Really understanding it.
He's going to come back over to the mid lane and refuel Boom. Quaker. See if he's going to get a fortunate rune up top. He's not. It's down bottom. So Boom managed to grab that. Doesn't have the bottle on him quite yet, though, so not able to get a straight refill. But will at least take it away from Quaker.
Aramis able to actually find the courier bottom, and Mick is really struggling in last hits. I'm just seeing the 100+ base damage on Toby. He can't actually he just can't get the kills on them. Even with his mangoes and his daggers, he's missing some last hits. So he's getting slowed down quite a lot too.
Yeah, and even on this top lane with Celery dying, Shad he's doing fine.
Yeah. He goes for the straight up just chainmail, so you can deal with the bash damage, that straight physical damage that comes out from Boxy. And he'll be able to recover.
Is under attack.
And Boom was able to clean up a few camps on the way back, but still having to take the time to walk back to base. But those jungle camps are keeping him in, so despite the tough start in lane against the DP, he's still able to find ways to really keep himself even.
Yeah. Quakefoot is 6 now, though, and Boom is only level 5 when he comes back in. Let's see what Quakefoot wants to do, if he wants to just pop the ult on the next wave, because the catapult is going to start coming. Viking, are they going to react? And is Liquid going to send another hero mid to try to really press this tower? Because Boom can't help his tower right now until he's 6.
No, he's got to be careful.
Boxy? Guess he's just pulling the creep wave up top. The levels have come out for the IO, so I guess they're feeling they can't pressure, and there's the move. Taiga's going to move toward mid, and Aramis is also going to respond.
All right, so Ghosts are out. Boom. And he's going to try and make the jump on to Quakefoot. Quakefoot's got the siphons going now. He might need a few more TPs going in Viking. Aramis, he's going to get taken out. He's not able to walk away in time. Quakefoot still with the Ghosts out, going strong. Siphon going to get cancelled immediately. Now Boom, he's actually going to try and zip in aggressively. The Curse Crown is down upon him. The Ghost still going. Boom. He's able to zip dodge the stun.
Are fortified.
He cleared the whole creep wave, and the catapult the whole time actually was not hitting the tower. It was on the low ground in the river hitting creep, so only 330 damage to the tower. Viking, good responses.
Yeah, they massively limited what Quakefoot's exorcism did that first time round.
Yeah, I mean, Aramis dies, but you get like little to no damage on the tower. It seems like a fine rotation, and now mid Quakefoot.
They're going
maybe
to
stay too far up.
Quaifa is going to pop the stick charges, but they've got the damage. He just walks back into the wave, and I guess just underestimating the potential burst that Boom's able to offer. He just moves in and takes him out. The two supports still sitting around.
Seeing that power again of the IO plus the Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
That overcharge with Storm is just insane early game. Storm just does so much damage, able to pump out those overloads.
Impressive holds around the mid, making this area stronger and really giving Boom that a bit of a boost that he does need. It's all in all pretty close beginning here across the board. Just Mickey that's suffering the most out of these lanes. He's still falling just slightly behind it. All the other cores here.
Yeah, they were able to fix the top lane decently, and yeah, Spectre getting pressured more. So they've actually come out pretty good. Like those two lanes that it felt like Liquid was going to win ends up kind of evening out, and Viking in a good position here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now Mickey, he's going to be fine, Insania. Still able to make sure that even though as hard as it is for Mickey to find free farm down here, it's still very hard for Viking to really kill the Spectre. And mid lane Quakefoot, 15 seconds. Exorcism is going to be back up once more. Has managed to beat down the tower to
got a lot of
half
tower
HP.
damage, yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what sort of a defense Viking comes in with if Quakefoot does try and commit again with the ult mid.
Yeah, he actually did 700 damage to tower there. Well, with his ult, he only did like 300.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to constantly see Liquid set up around there, though. We're seeing the threat. You know how much damage they can pose onto this Death Prophet with just a Storm +1 with the Undying or with that IO. Taiga having to stay around the area here. Just leaving Boxy alone, he's going to be fine up top anyway. He's already had such a good start. Just has to play the lane a little more passively. And he's already gotten away with everything. Almost level 7 on the Slardar. A very good start. They're a little afraid, it seems, Viking. The Slardar, Boxy not showing himself. Yeah, they're a little worried. He farmed the pull. Now Celery does see that, and he does see Boxy return. Maybe thinking they were getting sandwiched in the mid lane, though, because of that tower being low.
Let the fun begin!
Taiga's going to prepare the vision, though, to at least watch any of the rotations that might come toward that mid lane when they look to inevitably push. Or toward the top when they inevitably push that with the DP as well.
Rashad. Trying to make moves on Boxy, but yeah, or maybe with the extra help of the Storm. It's a big zip, and yeah, they're not closing in on that.
I'm surprised even. I was like, is he actually going to go for this here?
I mean,
level 1 zip? It doesn't feel good.
Mid, Quakefoot. He's got the damage to take out Aramis before the TP's out in time. So Quakefoot, he'll keep the pressure onto this tower. Boom's going to be able to TP back over.
Boom has to be very aware with his movements. Like when he makes that move top, a lot of downtime that gives Quakefoot the time to do this, and he's not getting farmed during this. So
Boom. Oh, he's got the back of a Celery. And Toby also TPing over. So again, Viking just doing their best to stop the falling of this mid tower. Just each time goes up, just making sure Quakefoot doesn't get to beat down on it completely freely.
Yeah. Oh, we see, we did, I don't know if we pointed this out, but Boom getting a dream item here, the Arcane Ring, while he has an IO on his team. So he gets tethered up, he gets that extra mana to always be on the map. This will actually be pretty important. Because him being on the map is what allows him to either farm or to counteract the push of the Death Prophet. Whenever he goes back, that's when we see Liquid make a move as bottom.
He's trying to go on Mickey, but Mickey is very tanky. Boom. He'll turn for Insania instead now. They've got the back of the fear, just push back Celery. Won't save Insania as Viking get the kill on the support. As we're seeing though, Mickey definitely a tough target, especially so now that he has the Blade Mail and also Poor Man's Shield coming out. So Mickey, not an easy one for Boom to initiate on.
No, and he's got stacks, you know, as we always say. We didn't really look at them or touch on them, but it's Liquid. You always have to anticipate them having stacks in their jungle. So he'll back away. Viking will be able to take out this bottom tower pretty quickly with Toby with the overcharge.
Mid lane Viking, they're able to find the tower denied. We've taken away some of that potential gold from Liquid.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I'm just looking at Boxy getting all this free farm though, and I'm getting a little concerned here for Viking. I feel like Boxy's going to explode in the mid game to set up for his team. This is like Slardar getting this type of farm is just pretty unheard of.
Yeah, and if they can have Boxy initiate on pretty much, I mean, Toby's going to still be very tanky. But I guess even if he's able to close the gap with a blink, they're able to follow up with a haunt and an exorcism, they are going to have that really strong kill potential, and Celery's going to have his work cut out. So there's going to have to be some clutch saves coming in from Celery against whoever does get jumped upon by Boxy.
Yeah, they have an overwhelming amount of damage that's really going to kick off when they all come together. Because we look at the team fight, like Liquid has a lot of team fight. The Death Prophet ult, the Dark Willow ult, everything coming together. And yeah, the Corrosive's really going to make it so strong, as Shad has to be careful not to get caught by silence either.
The silence set up, and to the Bramble, they got the damage. He's going to be able to get the rage out, but the physical's already there. Celery's going to bring Toby across.
Exorcism.
Curse Crown down. Mickey, he's diving in on it over to Ward Celery. They're trying to kill off the Eye before the re-relay hits back on, and he's gone. He's taken out the fear onto the two of them. They trapped them in the trees. Aramis and Toby, they're stuck. They're being held in by the creeps. Aramis will turn with a decay. Boxy's falling onto the Firestorm. He will go down, but it's 4 dead on Viking as Liquid is collapsing past the tower. I mean, we're seeing it around mid. Vikings very keen on trying to keep these towers defended. They couldn't do it for the top one. They could not do it. They could not stop Liquid getting these kills.
No, they just immediately pop Shad from the start of the fight there, because Boxy had his Bash Prime. They get the perfect initiation from the side there, Liquid. And we see what the Death Prophet can do in these fights. And I feel like this is going to be pretty evident of what's going to happen a lot of times if Quakefoot doesn't just die at the start. He just runs rampant. He siphons 2 or 3 of these tanky strength heroes, and then they can't turn on him. They can't hit him, and there's no stuns to control him, just hitting everyone with the exorcism. It feels like they, especially when they see this exorcism kind of like building up and getting set up, it feels like they might have to relocate and just try to dodge around some of these fights. Liquid gonna start snowballing here with his Boxy Blink Dagger.
He's in, and he's on to Celery. A significant burst through the IO to start things off. Celery trying to hide out to the side. Toby punching in the Boxy. The solo heal comes out. Celery's going to live, and now boom, zips in onto Boxy. Boxy is very, very low. Insania does have a false promise at the ready if Boxy is threatened, but Boxy won't need it. They're up to the high ground. They get away. But nice moves from Viking, just doing their best to make sure that Celery just he can't get soloed down by Boxy alone.
Yeah. How are they need to do something to take advantage of the cooldowns, though. When Haunt is down, when Exorcism's down, I feel like they have to make something happen on the map, at least get some insane amount of farm out of it, because Liquid, immediately they're going to go top and pressure this tower still. And I don't see Viking reacting. It looks like they're just going to play a little bit of this farm catch-up for now. Because they do at least have, what, Yule's finished on the Underlord, Armlet on Lifestealer.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But yeah, this is now allowing Liquid to just get this tower, and then they're also going to come back up. Boom at least finds himself a regen, so he's going to be able to really maximize it in the farm for the Storm Spirit. But yeah, this is just downtime for Liquid to get all their ults back up, it feels.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yes. I mean, in terms of the next big items, what route we go? Mickey, just go for the Mantra after the Blade Melt. Over on Viking Shad, Armlet's done. Going for the Armlet AC that he always loves to.
Just standard.
Yeah, no, nothing too crazy across the boards here. A couple of Yules for Viking, from Toby and Boom.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Quakefoot level 12, level 2 Exorcism at the ready, and Haunt is back online. So Viking, I mean, they played it just like kind of the passive farm game. Let's see how much it hurts them. Liquid, they're going to group up eventually and look to punch pretty soon.
I mean, is there just you feel like for Viking they can't sit back with like this Lifestealer Storm? You think at the end of the day this Spectre lineup is going to be scarier as the minutes pass?
Where's the body?
In concept it should be. I mean, maybe the IO Undying is just broken, and maybe that's the way that they're trying to play around it, just hoping that Liquid gets caught when they're splitting up and they can use these IO relocates. Because they do have good pickoff on the side of Viking. That's the thing with the Infest Bomb. They can look to get these pickoffs constantly.
Yeah, Boom, just a component away for the Yules, so it'll be a little harder for Liquid to find those jumps onto him. And the silence and the roots no longer enough to set up on Boom.
There is a lot of them, though, and he's playing versus Willow, where you kind of set yourself up for the brambles if you do use Yules to protect yourself a lot.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to go down. I thought he was going to do like what the panel was talking about, like going for the Bloodstone Rush or doing the Orchid Rush this game, but I mean, we'll see if the Yules does pay off. I feel like there's a lot of things he has to play around, though, with it. As Liquid grouping up, sending the Spectre mid, and they can set up for this tower.
They're They're going to push it with the ult. Quaitfa pops it straight away into the trees. They go. Aramis will lay down the tombstone. Jump forward from Boxy. They're going to try and take out Aramis with a physical damage from the Exorcism. They'll do so straight away. Aramis goes down. Horn comes out. The fear starts to put Toby back. Boom, able to jump in. They burst down Boxy. This Exorcism from Quaitfa still tearing through the wall. Toby's going to be healed up by the Infest. Both of them up in the air with the Yules. Quaitfa saved by the false promise. He's going to have a little more time to work in on.
Very isolated.
He's going to go for the TP out. Doesn't want to stick around, and he's away. Quaitfa bails out of there as Viking they hold. They push back the push of the Death Prophet, and they come out on top. 3 kills down the defense by Viking.
Looked scary for a sec for Viking, but the Tombstone in such a good position. Aramis, he actually took a very long time to die. Everybody on the side of Liquid kind of dies before this Spectre and this Death Prophet can actually kill anybody.
No.
The sustain game, it's kicking in. And maybe that IO ain't dying. You know, maybe they really are all into something.
Yeah, Viking just doing a great job of not losing too many of these objectives early on to Liquid. Really, turning up, knowing that they can pull together these holds and stop Liquid getting away with these moves that they're very aggressively trying to make right now.
Yeah. I was worried too. They TP'd in kind of like 1 by 1 as well in the fight.
It looked a bit rough to start. It looked like it was going to be a lot tougher than it was, but...
And that's all pre-mech. That's a big thing too. Celery, he hasn't had the mech. Usually we see the IOs with the mech at like 12-13 minutes. It's getting quite delayed.
He's on the front lines. Boom. He's there with the backup. Straight away they go on to Boxy. Boxy's been caught out. He's trying to run. A bit of a save comes out from Insania with the Fate Seeded. Quaitfa turns with the Siphon onto Boom, and Boxy he'll live. The heals come out from Purifying Flames. They'll be able to disengage the Slardar.
Every time that Tombstone gets laid down, Liquid just tries to disengage. We'll be able to clean up the tomb this time. Quaitfa will get some money. It will take him a little while, but... Yeah, we're seeing Viking still punching back. Even through the ultimates, as we saw in that last fight.
Yeah, still so this one ending up a very close game coming out of this early game. 18 minutes in, 9-8. Less than 1k in it. Shad and Mickey on the same level right now in terms of farm.
Yeah, Shad's definitely off to a good start. Him in the storm.
I mean, yeah, Boxy, I think after those last few plays, yeah, they really need those BKBs done. Because right now, Boxy, he's trying to go in on the front lines, but Viking, they're not really too scared of him. They just turn and collapse on him as soon as they see him come forth.
Yeah, they're tanky. I mean, when they're rallied around Tombstone, you really do see the power of Viking. It counteracts, as the panel mentioned a couple of times too, is like the Desolate from the Spectre is never going to work in the fights because of that tomb. So a lot of damage does get negated, and there's just so many heals that can get provided. Like you said, though, the BKB is going to be a big timing too. Liquid, they have at least one on Quaitfa, and every time that there's downtime, I don't think that they mind. They get to sit back, wait for their ults to come up. But Viking don't seem to mind any of that downtime either.
Also,
Liquid trying to claim a high ground. Bounty runes in about 20.
And Toby with his invis rune there, he's underneath the sentry.
They saw him for a second.
I've seen him just long enough to get it. Lay down the ult. Do they have the damage? They don't. Celery's able to step in. And Viking, they're going to be able to keep Toby safe. Liquid not having enough to commit for him, but now maybe they can try and jump once more. Boxy is heading in. They try to move in with the smoke, but now Tiger is caught out by the pit. Boom's looking for his target, and he's going to go in for the Willow. Straight away, they drag Tiger back. False Promise comes out from Insania to keep Tiger safe. Jump onto the river. Boxy is back onto Toby. They've got the ult out from Quaitfa. Horn as well, as Mickey's able to join in. Toby surrounded by Liquid. Celery's trying to keep him alive with the heals, but Celery hasn't got enough to save him. So this time, Liquid will be able to overrun the two of them with the power of the Exorcism. And they're not done yet. Boxy, maybe seeing if he can catch onto the storm. They get the silence. Boxy's going to have the blink in a second. Does he want to dive for this, though? He does.
No.
Won't go in underneath the tower. Knows the Boom's going to have the Yule Scepter to play with if he did go in aggressively. Still at Liquid. This time, a much cleaner move from them. They get 2 kills. They get themselves a tower. Viking not able to sort of team up and save one another there. Liquid poking out the relocate and then coming back in when that save wasn't available.
Too scary for Viking to walk up into that high ground. Even though they had the Tombstone down on the right side, the Brambles were covering that entrance, and then good reset from Liquid as Boom looks to punish Insania. Boom
trying to. He really wants this Insania kill. He's going for it. He can't quite finish it off. Now Boxy, he's running in. Boom. He's got Celery and Aramis by his side though, so Boxy won't be able to punish. Insania lives to see another day.
That was a little scary for Boom there. Almost actually just dies if the Purifying Flames was just turned and casted by Insania. Very close. And we see this. The replay right here is the way Liquid reinitiated the fight on the left side. You see how the Tombstone's on the bottom right off the map. So this is the perfect place for them to fight. Just peel it away from Tombstone. And that really feels like how they have to fight every time. And that is the double ults used again. So let's see if Viking does try to take advantage of them. Infest up on the Storm. And they're going to look for Mickey. But Mickey, he sees these couriers flying over that deep ward that they have. I think they're going to know that this move is happening. But he's actually walking right into him here.
Oh, he is. They've got the jump. They have the damage. Fully focusing onto Mickey. They use up the Oracle to stop Insania coming in with any saves, but he already got the first save off. Mickey's going to be fine, and now with the fear onto the four of them, they're going to walk straight over into Boxy, into the three-man crush. They've taken down Boom, but Celery comes with a heal onto Aramis. Mickey stepping forward, Quaifa, the BKB out. Quaifa trying to siphon down Aramis, but Viking GG, they're keeping themselves alive. They've taken down Boxy. They're now looking to chase over towards Mickey, who's into the trees with the dagger. Mickey will make it away. I mean, it looked like it should be a big setup combo there for Liquid with the fear, but they just didn't quite have the damage to get anything other than the Storm. The rest of Viking still having an incredible amount of sustain between them.
Yeah, the sustain again. You know, the sustain game is really kicking in. Just Mech gets popped and Tombstone's still on the high ground. Even I was even like, oh my god, it looked so damn good for Liquid, but too many heals coming out and they can't actually take advantage of the fight. Without Exorcism, they don't have that damage to kick through. So we're seeing now, you know, Shivas is getting queued up for Koikfa. They're going to go for the Scotty next on the Spectre, and that's going to be the big ticket items where we're going to see Liquid probably start to take over the fights harder, just to reduce that healing, because the sustain is really all that's keeping Viking alive in these. I can't believe how much Overcharge really heals. It's such an insane ability. Just 0.8% of your max health for those 8 seconds. You just see like ridiculous numbers on some of these heroes. It's Liquid. They have all their ults at the ready. Infest on the Storm.
What a jump. And look, straight away. They're going to go in onto Quaifa. They're trying to burst the Death Prophet as quick as they can, but they can't quite do so. Again, Insania in with the Fate Seed. Quaifa's going to be saved, and now he's looking to turn. The Horn comes out. Boom. He's up in the air with the Yules. Aramis gets the Soul Repeal off. He's still alive. Celery tethered over to Shad as they try and get the Lifestealer out of there. Toby, he's going to look for the Dark Rift to take them home, but they're split out of the side. Toby, the Rift will take himself out. The rest of Viking trying to run, but Aramis will get caught. Split from the rest of the team. They get the kill on the Undying, and now they'll try and move into the pit. They've got a few seconds left on Exorcism.
They only lose the one hero, though, for that whole disengage. Not too bad. But now, with Corrosive Haze, with Manta, and with those last seconds of Exorcism, this Roche is going to die so fast.
Trying to come over. Boom might be able to do something big if he's in with a zip. They scan it out. Buyback as well from Aramis. Roche is falling. They need to zip it now if they're able to do so. Shad steps in, but it's already been done. Mickey, they get the kill. They get the Aegis on Mickey. Mickey's TPing out. They want to save this Aegis for a better fight, as they'll lose the supports on the retreat. Maybe lose Quaifa as well, though. As Viking, they found the Death Prophet. Quaifa goes to the silence, tries for the TP, but they have Yule Scepters to cancel it. TP's cancelled. Quaifa gets taken out. As Viking, they don't get the Roche and the Aegis, but they certainly give Liquid an excellent fight off the back of it. 3 of them dead on Liquid.
Top tower is under attack.
And they get an Arcane Rune bottom too for Boom, so I think getting that one, they can get a tower out of it, get a little bit of map control, but Liquid's still coming out. Definitely the victors in there. Even though they lose Quakefoot, they're going to get close to these big ticket items, as we were mentioning. The Scotty, the Shivas counteract a lot of that healing. Now they're on their way toward it.
I'm just seeing each sign that at the start of these fights, Insania, he's always able to save whoever gets gone on. They've not been able to sort of reliably jump this Oracle. Insania been very careful with his positioning and each time keeping Quakefa or Mickey safe when they get gone on by Viking.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, that's the tough thing about this draft, though, right? Where we see a lot of time the Storm really paired with Spectre almost every time lately, actually, is because you just see the whole fight. So you always know where the Oracle's positioned. You can always just get these jumps. In this game, sure, they have the Tombstone for that vision aspect, but like you said, Insane has been playing very careful, sitting in the back, and they're having trouble just getting through the front line. Like the way the fights are kicking off, Quakefoot just charges up the high ground and forces the fight onto him. So it gives Insania the positioning.
Are scanning.
So less than a 1k gold lead. Less than 3k experience too. It's still a very even game. But this is definitely where I feel like the game is going to start to get that much harder for Viking going forward. These big items that are going to start coming out. And just Boom, not really having this explosive game on the Storm. He's pretty underfarmed. He's only got the Yules and then this Kaya, and that's pretty much it for now.
No, it's definitely
Very
slowed down a
underfarmed
bit
Storm
for him.
compared to usual. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's not been feeding. He's been in good action, 2-1 and 9. Just when it comes to the farm, slipping quite a bit behind that of Quake for respect on the side of Liquid. Quake for just 800 gold, and he's going to have the Shiva's Guard done too. So any of these sort of aura or team fight arms are going to be huge, as we're seeing most of the time. It's not about the pickoffs. It is full 5-on-5 clashes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Boom's game, the Storm, it gets harder. It really does. When you're playing into BKBs, double BKB cores, the Death Prophet and the Slaughter already have it, your targeting is going to get a lot more difficult for this Storm. You still do a lot of magic damage as your kid, and that's going to be negated.
We'll see some nice items here from both sides. Shad gets the Paladins. As over on the side of Liquid, Mickey does get the Titan Sliver, and we'll see Quakefer. He gets
the Paladin sword as well.
Take the benefit of that. Yeah. That's, I mean, that is very, very good, right? Yeah, this, especially if, I mean, we did used to see Death Prophets go for the Ags. Obviously, Quakefer's not this game. Is that something that's going to come into his build later, or is there a reason why you don't get the Ags anymore on a Death Prophet?
No, you can still get it. I think these 3 items are the most value for him this game. Sure. The Yules always make sense. BKB's amazing. Then Shiva's to counteract the healing and give him that armor. It's too good to pass up this game. He doesn't need more Ghost. They don't need more damage. He just needs to survive and then counteract Viking survivability. Yeah. And they've got this double kicking in now. So Shiva's and Scotty, they still have their Aegis for about a minute and a half. This is a huge window for Liquid.
Let's see what they can do with this.
This fight's going to feel pretty impossible for Viking if they don't catch the back line.
Yeah, against this Aegis Spectre and these new items, Viking, I mean, to the point where Viking might just do their best to avoid this. They might, may just have to let this tier 2 go. We've seen them come in to pretty much attempt to hold any tower that's been pushed. But at this point right now, probably just got to let this top tier 2 go.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, no move here from Viking in return. This tier 2 tower. Oh, it's good. The fortification's going to be enough. Liquid, they're going to try and sweep across towards the mid. Viking also smoked up. They're going to start things. Boxy, he jumps in. A Hawk comes out straight away. They're looking towards center. Getting rid of the Iron. They're able to do so. The Iron goes down. Over towards Aramis. Aramis gets the tombstone out. Quakefer goes to popping as well as the BKB. Buyback from center as he comes in with a fear from Tiger, pushing it back, disabling Shad as Shad can't get off anything. As Shad's gone, Celery's going to die back. I mean, it was always going to be a very hard fight at this point, as we said, with the items that Liquid had just picked up. And that just went to show it there. Viking were not prepared to fight into Liquid at this moment.
They couldn't take out anybody. They just get completely smashed. And even with the buyback, they lose the 4 heroes without even pretty much touching anybody on the side of Liquid.
And boom. Off the mark there with the zip. Doesn't actually catch the creep wave.
Radiant structure.
So the creeps are going to push on. Fortification as well, keeping them alive against the Firestorm. They've got 30 seconds to work with here, Liquid, whilst Viking are down 3 members. But they'll try and push it any further onto the high ground. I think they themselves are going to be feeling pretty confident with how big their Spectre, I mean, not just the Spectre, Mickey and Quakefer. I mean, Quakefer continuing to be just as farmed as Mickey this game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point now, they've kicked off all these timings. I feel like Viking, as soon as they respawn, they have to try to pick people off, but Boom is dying.
He's got to be a little careful. He really wants Insania, and now he's going to get slightly caught in the bramble. He's able to get out with the Lotus. They'll save him, get him out of the route. Shad trying to step in over towards Tiger. Again, Insania just making the magic happen. Keeping Tiger alive. Insania's got a false promise if it's needed. Tiger up in the air. Tiger's going to get left behind. It won't look to turn with him. Mickey, he's going to get hit. He's got a DD. It's straight away. Boom, he's going to get stunned. He's rooted. He's out of position. Is he able to get out? He is. Finally able to zip to the side as the Lotus will save him. Boxy with the BKB holds his ground. Gets the 3-man crush off. Mickey's chasing them down. Over to the side. Tiger's just messing with Boom as Boom can't re-enter the fight. Toby and Shad go down. Aramis is going to get chased, and it just seems to be all too much right now for Viking. Liquid, they've got their item timings, and each and every fight now from this point onwards seems incredibly hard for Viking, especially so after these last 2 fights where they're losing cores back-to-back.
Yeah, and that's the fight that they're trying to chase out because they know the Haunt is down, they know the Death Prophet ultimate is down, they're trying to get any type of thing out of it. Even though it's forcing it into a DD Spectre in a weird situation, Viking felt like they had to try to do it, but yeah, like you said, it's just impossible. Liquid, they got their timings.
They're going to be able to tear through these mid-racks and probably more. There are 2 buybacks on Viking. We'll see how aggressive Liquid wants to play it. Yeah, they're going to go straight up towards the top lane. Tier 2's already down. It's exposed. There's Tier 3. See if they can get away with a full set of racks. Because Viking's going to be back up soon. What kind of moves can they make? Haunt's back up, though. It's kind of awkward to get in. Liquid will respect the respawns. They get the Tier 3, and they continue to play it cool again. As I say, I think Liquid, they know that they don't really need to rush this. They can take this safe right now.
Yeah, they've got very hard scaling cores, and they've got literally a full set of items being delivered for everybody after these last 2 very successful fights.
Roshan timer, we're going to find out in about 10 seconds. That's what they're going to be playing towards. Viking's going to try and come out with a smoke play. Boom. He's got Shad inside him.
It really feels like this one. It really feels like that last hurrah, because this fight can't go well unless they just start the fight by just killing somebody. This feels like a pretty tough task. As they're going to run into the hardest target, as Mickey in the front line.
He sees it, but he kind of knows, what's the plan? What's the plan from Boom? Does he go in?
He can't go on Boxy either. Boxy's way too tanky at this point with a BKB and an Ags. Waiting for Quakefa's ult to come back up fully before Liquid just actually kicks off and just jumps into a fight.
Yeah, they're
playing it a little defensively.
Yeah, the double Ags ready to go. Quake from Boxy.
Oh yeah, Quakefa's okay. Now then they can fight without the exorcism.
Yeah. And yeah,
but don't need to force anything. They can just chill here.
Oh, they get a courier, Viking. And
not getting farmed.
Still looking, but Liquid, as you say, how do you zip into this? How do you jump this?
It feels impossible. I mean, all this time Shad's infested, so they're getting 0 farm on the map. Tier 4s are literally being hit by creeps at the moment.
Oh my goodness, the creeps. Yep, they're doing it. They are trying to end the game.
Slowly.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But they're just chilling in this area.
Viking
they're about to have They're about to have exorcism. 5 seconds. Liquid's gonna go in a second.
It's just such a hard position for Viking to play in there. I mean, what do they do when they're in this spot right now?
Radiant are scanning.
Catch Insania. It's really killed these backlines.
Liquid.
They have to pop
all the time. The Viking have been out there. Liquid's had the time to jump over. They're going to look to burst Celery straight away. Get rid of the iron. They can do so. Celery's down. Now over they go towards Aramis. Aramis gets the tombstone out. Buyback from Insania comes into play. Boxy's on top of the Undying as Aramis falls. Toby's trying to rip Boom out of there, but Boom's going to get burst down by the heavy physical of these bashes from Boxy. It's 3 dead again on Viking. As Liquid, they take yet another fight, and they're going to instantly move over towards the next objective, and it is Roche. Roshan respawns. It's there. Aegis and Cheese for the taking, as Liquid will head into the pit, and Viking with 3 down, not looking like they're going to have any shot of putting a stop to this, and yeah, the speed that it goes down, it's gone. Aegis and Cheese into the hands of Liquid, now 15k up against Viking.
Really does just feel impossible for them to take any fights, because even when those ults are down, the Viking just doesn't have it anymore. The Storm Spirit just doesn't have the farm to be able to get and kill these backlines, and the front line is just too much of a problem. The Death Prophet, Spectre, and Slaughter just rip everybody apart way too quickly for him to actually do any damage.
Gold for my master.
Full abyssal on Mickey.
Yeah, they're hitting some crazy items now.
Yeah, this Spectre hasn't been stopped yet. 3-0-15. And no signs of being slowed down even a little bit at this stage by Viking.
No way he dies in this game. They just don't have the heroes to be able to do it. Even with the amp and everything from the Undying, the percent damage from Firestorm, it's just they don't have the tools to be able to take him out with an Oracle behind even. Too many things that Viking has to worry about in this game now. Shad, he'll finish this next item. He'll finish his Abyssal. But yeah, this is Liquid just playing with their food. They're just waiting for their ults to come back up before they can look to just end the game.
Now Viking just, I guess, just sort of holding the high ground and hoping for the best here.
In my wake.
That's Liquid
Radiant's bottom
controlling the
tower
whole
is
map
under
right now.
attack.
Very hard for Vikings to step outside of the base. It's Mickey. Just sort of a kill away from having the 25 on the Spectre. Closest on the side of Viking is level 20 on Shad.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Huge disparity now at this point.
Shad
And Mika, he just walks up with the blade mail.
and they just taking the racks.
Yep.
Ready to boom.
Trying to find the wraparound,
He's
but
trying to get around on this. He's looking for Insania, but instantly the Yules Fear will be held onto. Tiger, he's prepared for this. The root comes out. He's straight down into a Boomstead. He's gone for 70. They move over towards Aramis, just tearing him apart with these Siphons and Ghosts. There's 2 dead on Viking. They have got buyback. They want to try and put together something for this fight. It will come out, Boom. Look for the big zip, straight over towards Quakefa, but the control from Box, he comes out straight away. Boom's got to step back to the side. They do kill Insania, but he was able to get the heals off onto the Quakefa in time, so Quakefa's going to be okay. Now looking at Mickey, Mickey's still with the Aegis. He's happy to hold his ground. He's going to start running back at them. Boxy jumps over with the crush onto Boom. The Abyssal Blade comes down onto the storm, into the Fear from Tiger. This mass chain disable, leaving no options for Boom to escape. As Boom and Celery fall, Celery buys back, but Boom's gone for 90. Liquid looking for the full set of rags top, and they'll get it. Not even losing the Aegis on Mickey, it's still held safe. As Liquid, they'll retreat. They'll give a little more time to Viking. They're still at tier 2 down bottom. But again,
a little bit more time for Viking to suffer.
Yeah, I mean, that is all it seems to be right now. As it seems pretty impossible for them to turn things around. This whole sort of last 10 minutes has just been the game just exploding out of control. Liquid with a severe lead, and Viking GG just not the heroes to turn it seems.
No, and they can't even, like, it takes them so long to kill the backline. Like you said, the Storm, he jumps in, he gets the Orchid, but I see Insania's been pre-casting Fortune's End and also Fate's Edict on himself before the fights, and then they instant Yules anyway on the Storm, so he just dies instantly, comes back in, dies again. They do get the kill on Insania, but it's too tough to get through these front lines. This Death Prophet, this Slaughter, and this Spectre, they just force onto everybody else, and yeah, this deficit, it's just impossible.
Radiant,
especially for Boom.
There we go. Liquid with another big smoke. Viking, are they going to be ready for this? They weren't ready the few times before. The Horns out onto Celery. Io immediately isolated. Each and every time, really, Liquid. You know, they've just been playing it all on the Io. Eliminate Celery, and suddenly everything falls apart, and it absolutely has done in each and every fight that they've come to Viking with.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And they're just going to call it without even taking a fight.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, there's not really much that can stop it. As the Ancient explodes, the game is over. As Liquid, I mean, they look good today, and Viking.
Yes.
They try and come in with the Undying Io that we saw obviously have some incredible strength yesterday against Secret when Mud Golems were playing it, for example. But here, it still felt like they were having some of the same issues that they had yesterday. They seem to have not found themselves again, Viking, which is kind of strange because we've seen Viking look so strong through the recent showings, recent tournaments, and through the groups, and now they're just struggling. Liquid, they had a solid lineup this game, and they knew exactly what to do this game. Liquid, they knew exactly how they wanted to play it, what sort of timings they went for, and they just ran away with the victory here.
Yeah, it's a tough game for Viking, really, after the items just start kicking in. It's when Boom starts having this tough time, game just gets really, really difficult for them, and they have to play more aggressive. When they're playing versus these long cooldowns, they have to take advantage of them.
Oh, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Liquid will take game 1 of the best of 3 against Viking GG.